I'm pleased to introduce our Invocation speaker, Professor Eric Hernandez.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you've had a chance to go outside, enjoy the nice weather, because it won't last. Well, the good news is that after successfully completing hundreds of assignments, exams, projects, you have satisfied almost all the requirements needed to be here and receiving some of the most sought-after degrees higher education has to offer. And for that, we give you a big hand of applause. The bad news, and there is really no good way to say this, is that there is one exam you guys did not take. And I've been asked to come up here and administer that last exam. But don't worry, you're not gonna need calculators, you're not gonna need computers, you're not gonna need writing pads, pencils, books, no cell phones. They're all gonna be completely useless in order for you to pass this exam. This is not an exam where you're gonna look outward for the answers. This is an exam where you need to look inward. But before I administer the exam, let me tell you a quick story that hopefully will help you pass. When I was a young engineer, only a couple of years after graduating, and before I got all my gray hair, I had the privilege of working as an assistant to one of the greatest engineers in my native country, the Dominican Republic. He had been a successful engineer for decades, designing bridges, aqueducts, ports, many iconic buildings all around the island, and even internationally. He was about to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Society of Dominican Engineers. A few days before he received the award, he showed me the speech. So I could read it, and I was grateful for that. And that speech literally changed my life. And I want to share some of that with you here today. In that speech, he didn't mention any of his many, many engineering accomplishments. He didn't mention any of his non-engineering accomplishments, which some of them included being the founder of the university that I went to school at as an undergrad, and running for vice president of the country. He didn't mention any of that. He only mentioned 5 people that he identified as the main characters in the story of his life. These 5 people spanned from his childhood all the way up to the time when he received the award. And he explained how each one of them had a lasting influence in his life. And I vividly remember how the speech ended. And I quote, "Nothing comes out of nothing. In addition to our own efforts, our accomplishments are largely determined by what others have poured into our lives by their words or deeds. Knowingly and often unknowingly, a handful of people become the main characters in the story of our lives, just as we become characters in the lives of others." Well, are you ready for the exam? Here it is. Can you pause for a few seconds to think about 4 or 5 people that have made a significant influence in your life and have poured into your life all the ingredients that are needed for you to be here today, achieving this great milestone. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about that. The answer to that only lies within yourself. Well, did you pass? Only you know the answer to that question. But I'm sure you all did. Finally, as you leave this graduation ceremony in a couple of hours and you embark on new adventures, I encourage you to live a life such that others, when they take this test, when they think about people that have made a lasting influence in their lives, they think about you. Thank you.